what's up guys, this is FineSpline. I wanted to do a tutorial on building a ball that we're going to be using in a lot of the tutorials we do live. So what you should have right now is a Maya 2015 student version that you downloaded for free online, and I'll put the link in here. So in order to get started, what I like to do is I use the commands in the 3D view by holding down spacebar and then going to create, polygon primitives, sphere. And when you click that, you'll have to draw something on the grid. So let's go ahead and draw, make it whatever size you want. Then make sure that the ball is selected and go over on the right side of the inputs, polysphere. Let's make that 5. That'll be our default, is 5. All right, so now we'll select the sphere again, and then we'll zero out the controls. So going over to the channel box and highlighting anything that has numbers in it, and press 0, and that should be good. So now this ball is exactly at the center point, at the origin. The only problem is we want the bottom of the ball to be right at the origin. So it'd be something like this. And we want the pivot point to be at the bottom of the ball. So in order to do that, we're going to do a few tricks here. So when I have the ball selected and I press, when you press W, you guys know that W is translate, E is rotate, R is scale. So I'm going to press W, and then with W selected, the translation selected, I'm going to hold down D. I'm holding down D and pressing V as well, so holding down D and V, and then I'm going to grab the Y axis and translate this pivot point down to the bottom of the ball. It should go so it can't go any further, and then you unselect it and let go of D and V. So now the pivot point is at the very bottom of the ball. That's great, but now we need that pivot point, or the bottom, that ball to rest right on the ground plane right there, and it needs to be exact. It can't be almost exact, it needs to be exact. So let's get the ball out of the way for right now. We're going to use a trick with a locator. So once again, I'm going to press spacebar or hold down spacebar, go to create, and then go down to locator. So created a locator, and this is just an empty object that has no use except for constraining and parenting things to it. So with the locator at the center point, which is great, what we're going to do is grab the ball, press W for translation, and then we're going to hold down V. And what V does, you see that the little circle appears in this icon, and then we're going to grab the Y translation and bring it down so that it snaps to the locator. So now the ball should have its pivot point at the very bottom of the ball, and the bottom of the ball should be exactly on the ground plane. Now, once we have that, we can grab the locator and then delete it by pressing delete. So that's great. This ball is exactly where we want it, which is all good. But now we need to zero out the values. See, right now, if I zero out the values on the right side, press 0, the ball goes back to a certain point that I don't want. So I'm going to press Z to undo. And in order for the right side here, the channel box, for this to be zeroed out, all you have to do is right-click any value in the channel box, go down to freeze all. So right-click, freeze all, and you select that, everything got zeroed out. So once again, if I grab the ball and move it somewhere, and it's somewhere I don't want, and I want to go back to its original spot, I can highlight anything, zero it out, and it goes back to the original spot, which is what we want. There's one more thing we have to do, and that's with the polysphere. All these controls, we need to sort of bake it in. So right now, I can change the radius, and let me Z to undo that, and change these values. But we want to make it so that this is set in stone, and there's no way to change that. So in order to do that, I'm going to again spacebar, go to Edit, Delete by Type, History. So spacebar, edit, delete by type, history. When I do that, then it'll delete all the history that's in here. Now this ball is ready to go, and we're ready to animate. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, I'll look forward to seeing you guys on stream. Thanks for watching. See you later.